Good morning, guys. There's no video once again because it's Wednesday night, and if you watched the video, if you watched the Bible study, you know that we got the keys to the new building. There's a lot of things that we still got to do to it, so first service isn't going to be until August, but it is 1:21 in the morning. We're just leaving. Sharon and I are blown away by everybody that after Bible study came to help. They cleaned up so much, because there was some rooms, as we've been telling you, were full of stuff, and it was honestly overwhelming every time I stepped into those rooms. You too? And everybody, man, started picking up. So anyways, it's 1:21 in the morning, and I know I didn't give you a devotional yesterday, so I wanted to make sure to at least do an audio one, because we're driving home, and there's no possible way I could do a devotional after I get home, because we got to be back here early. So I just thought, as I'm driving home on the freeway, I would talk with you guys. I almost want to revisit some of the subjects next week that we talked about, because this chapter was a heavy chapter in the book of Daniel, and it brought on a lot of questions about cyberlink, is that what it's called? Right?
AI.
No, cyberlink.
Yeah.
In the brain.
Yeah.
AI, artificial intelligence.
It's not Cyberlink.
No, what's it called?
It's not Cyberlink. It's oh my god.
The thing Elon Musk puts in the brain that he's testing. And it brought on, even though we're studying the book of Daniel, this chapter was very, very interesting, because it started tapping into it almost sounded like a lot of the book of Revelation, to be honest with you. And I said in the beginning, when we were going to do the book of Daniel, that it's Neuralink. Yeah, Neuralink. In case you don't know what that is, Neuralink is this chip with little prongs that gets embedded in your brain. And he believes that you will be able to your brain will be tied to the internet. And that in the future, people with Neuralink will be smarter, faster, more efficient than regular people without it. That's his claims, at least. I don't think it's up to that point now, but that's his plans, to have it be upgradable in the same way. Have you ever had, when your phone has an update in the operating system? In the same way, this would have updates in the operating system, and to be tied into your brain, that's an interesting concept. But anyways, the study kind of veered off into that a little bit, and then into artificial intelligence, or AI. Somebody asked if I believe that has anything to do with the end of days, with the beast, with the Antichrist, and made for a very interesting conversation. The little bit I know about artificial intelligence, it is getting very, I don't know the word I'm thinking about, but it doesn't look good the way, in the direction that it's going. And I did share that. It just reminded me about, I asked somebody to bring up the passage and nobody found it for me, but it was something to do in the book of Revelations where the beast or the statue became a living thing. And I'm like, how can something not have life and it becomes a living thing? And it made me think of this artificial intelligence. If they ask these robot or AI, not robot, AI, it's almost feels like they're self-aware. Self-aware means you are self-aware. For instance, we don't know if animals know they're self-aware, but a person knows they're self-aware. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us know that we are a living, breathing being. And it sounds like a lot of these AI bots are very self-aware of themselves. They give answers that they calculate on their own, not answers that were pre-programmed into them. But anyways, it was just a very interesting Bible study, you know. And I said something. I said at the end of the Bible study, I said, when all is said and done, even though this is an interesting Bible study, it's interesting to talk about these things. It's fascinating to talk about these things. But we can't ever forget that Jesus is the main thing. And we got to make sure no matter what we talk about or study or even clash on or maybe not agree, doesn't even matter. It all comes back to Christ. So I thought it went pretty well. There's a few things that I wanted to go back and study and learn, that maybe I could bring something more to the table. Somebody asked, why did the bear have those 3 ribs? That's a very important thing. He was very specific that he saw that bear with 3 ribs, and I believe that that's for a reason. It's not for no reason. I want to remember and go back because I had mentioned a few Roman emperors that defiled the temple. I want to get that name straight, and I don't want to be wrong in that. But anyways, then we came back and, we went to the church to help, and so many people started helping, but we did get a few minutes for the few that were there to just pray. And it was a beautiful moment, and how many of you, like, maybe you grew up somewhere, maybe a park you used to play at and used to love. There's this tree that Sharon showed me that her and her brothers and sisters would always play at, this little twisted tree.
I have it.
And she was able to show me around where she grew up, and she goes, look, that's the tree that we would go and hide in. And that was obvious. I could tell, that had a lot of nostalgia to it, and I'm sure a lot of memories that she carries in her mind and her heart. Now, what would happen if she would have came back as an adult and seen that tree gone or burnt or destroyed? I don't think it would have felt good. And I say that to say this, is that I was remembering the building that we now have. I remember stepping into that building in 2011. And it all came back to me why I saw that building. I was already pastoring the church. I kept saying the story that I was just out of prison, but no. I was already pastoring the church in the basement. Or maybe a few months after the basement. And I believe, I'm going to ask her, I believe it was Sister Esther, that for some reason she invited me over there because, and I'm going to ask her because sometimes I don't remember a lot of stuff clearly, but I believe that they were looking for a senior pastor. It was 3 Rivers Church. It was called 3 Rivers.
The tree.
And they didn't have a pastor. They were just like a board, and they were looking for a senior pastor. I remember that it was very small. They were all older people. They didn't have kids to be in the classrooms. They didn't have any youth. They were all older people that were maybe retired. And I remember him telling me that he's not sure what's going to happen because they don't have a pastor. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, how can a congregation be without a pastor? you know, and but I did see it. I walked through it. The whoever he was, the elder, walked me around, you know, and I remember going through it, and then just to come around full circle and just to be in there now, it was just, it's mind-blowing, you know. I'm left speechless, you know. Yesterday, it was yesterday for me, but for you guys listening to this, it was 2 days later. It was Tuesday morning. We went down there, met the property manager, and signed the lease. It was a special moment, you know. I mean, you guys know I always talk about Pastor Larry, Vice President of Grace, and he comes, but what was awesome was that Pastor Scott and his wife, they came down. Those are our district superintendents, and they are very, very special to Sharon and I. And for them to be there when I signed that lease meant so much. I think it meant more than they will ever realize. Would you agree, babe?
Yes.
And just to know, and I didn't even know they were taking pictures, and Pastor Scott's wife posted pictures up to all the pastors in our district. It was just a surreal moment, guys. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. It's 1:32 in the morning, and but you know, I'm not trying to ramble on. I'm just like, this is what has been going on these last 2 days. That's why you didn't get a devotion yesterday. But the point is this: there's a song that Sharon sings, and I don't remember the title, but in the break, I think it's oh yeah, it's that Waymaker. There's a part that says that even when we don't see it, he's still working. And even when we don't feel it, he's still working. You know, and pretty much that's what it's felt like, guys. You know, I am not going to sit here and say, oh, hard times are over. No. It's a new chapter. It doesn't mean hard times go away. But I'll tell you what, to come from preaching in a prison yard, to preaching in a banquet room, to a basement, to a karate school, to an office space, because that's what the last building pretty much was, and to a warehouse. It has been a lot of years of struggle, and we always made the best with what we had, and God still moved. People still got saved. People still got discipled. People still got healed. People still got delivered. You know, and sometimes at times I would, I knew we were lacking in the point of children, or not having the classrooms, or and then seeing the strain of the food giveaway that was a huge part of Sharon's heart, and to see the struggle just to get people meals, because we didn't really truly have the room for it. But we stayed faithful and still did it and found a way. And we didn't know how to have Bible Sunday school for kids, but we still found a way. And we had only so much room for a stage, and sometimes looking like sardines, but we still found a way. And I believe God honored that. Because when he sees what you do with a little, it's like, what can you do with a lot? You know, we just got to stay faithful to the Lord and make it about Him. I have noticed when people chase after ministry because they want it for themselves, I see them fail. And when I see somebody do things out of gratefulness for what the Lord has given them, and you do it unto the Lord, He opens doors. And I have seen it, and I'm not talking about just this building. I've seen it so many times over and over and over, that the Lord is with us. And not because we're any more special than anyone else, but we do things with the right heart, with the right agenda. What's that? That He be the agenda. And it's just awesome to see the hand of God move, guys. And I apologize for not having a devotional yesterday, and I didn't really have a video today. I had planned on it. I had actually brought my tripod and brought my lapel mics because I wanted to do a devotional, but it just got so busy. You know, our bodies hurt. We're tired. But this is what it is. You know, I was talking to Brother Julio earlier, and I said, man, I said, thank you for helping. And he's just like, no, man. And I said, well, everything we do it unto God. Not doing it for ourselves, not doing it. I don't want nobody to help for me. I want us to do it because we love Him. And yeah, it hurts our legs, it hurts our back, it hurts. Yeah, how did His legs feel when He had nails through His feet?
Yeah, we fall.
Yeah. You know, you think His hands didn't hurt with them nails?
We fall, we break our feet.
Yeah, yeah, it's just. But this is what we do, guys. Sharon's laughing because I don't know why she's laughing.
Because I fell and I ate it again.
She fell and
Twisted my foot.
you know, just I also want to thank you guys, man. There's so many of you that are sending your prayers, sending comments. You know, some of you have sent financial support to help in this endeavor and this, and I pray, man, truly, I pray that God bless you 10 times over, because this truly is a work of God. There's no doubt about it. There's so many. I'm going to give you this praise report. The previous tenant left so much stuff. I'm not exaggerating. There must be 15 couches. And
What did Julio say?
he goes, what, did everybody sat down all the time? I don't understand why there were so many couches.
Is everybody sitting down all the time?
There was giant pallets, not a regular pallet, long pallets, heavy pallets. There was pieces of cars, there was tires, there was rims.
Many rims.
There was a convertible top in the church. There was about 3 bumpers. There was a car door. I mean, there was stuff that this tenant left behind. And when we leased this place, it was pretty much as is, as far as the looks. Of course, you know, they're taking care of the HVAC and the electrical and the water. But as far as, you know, there was so much mess, guys. And there was no way we could do dump runs with that much stuff. I mean, we would be back and forth for a whole week.
More than a week.
And I did a wedding a couple weeks ago. It was a cowboy wedding, and I had a cowboy hat on, and I looked super cool.
You cancel.
And I didn't realize that the groom worked at a disposal place. Long story short, he asked the supervisor about getting one of those big giant bins like at construction sites. Do you guys, I didn't realize they're $400 to $500. And I'm sitting there like, we got to pay that money, come up with that money for a mess somebody else left? You know, and you know what happened? He calls me and says, hey, we're going to deliver that thing tomorrow morning. And I told my supervisor it's for a church. And the supervisor says, take it as a donation. He goes, you don't pay nothing. And we're going to leave it there for 3 days. Fill that thing up and we'll come pick it up.
Yeah, it's bad enough we're already doing the security cameras for a lot.
I was floored, guy. This I could tell you this over and over of how God has been just had his hand all over this. If we did one of those, you know, like in old school movies, they would do that, wipe that stuff to get a fingerprint. If we put that, there'd be God's fingerprints all over this. So that's why, guys, again, I'm going to make sure to do a devotional tomorrow for you guys. I'm going to keep the tripod in the car, the lapel mic in the car. That way, when we're over there, I'm just going to prop it up and do it. And maybe I'll show you guys around. We'll see. I was embarrassed to show you around because I didn't want you to see car bumpers and car doors and convertible tops and whatever else was there. It's looking a little bit better. So anyways, guys,
17 hours to go.
Oh man, I completely forgot. I gotta do that in the morning.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Guys, this is the last 17 hours as I'm recording this, so by the time you hear this, oh, you're gonna hear this in an hour. It's 1:43 already. This is the last shot to vote for Sharon. Let's not let nobody creep up, because what could happen in the last few hours, because you know how most of you are voting and doing a free vote, and praise God, thank you so much for it, but a few of you have actually paid for votes or thought of it. If you are, now would be the time. I'm not saying, to do it. Go ahead and do your free vote. We appreciate it a million times, but if you were thinking of paying for votes, because it's like if you pay $10, it's 10 votes, $20 is 20 votes, and so on. If you were gonna do it, please do it now, because what I don't want is the second place or third place all of a sudden to start buying votes, or their people, and then Sharon being number one all this time, and then in the last minute somebody take the first place. I don't want that to happen. So we got to keep her way ahead of everybody else. So it's going to be, I don't know. I know some of those people are got plans, and plotting already to bump her off of number one. We can't let that happen, guys. So I'm going to, last time, I'm going to put the link in the description box. I'm going to put the link in the comments. And if you could please do your free vote. And if you feel led to do more, fine, praise God, thank you. We appreciate it. But at least your free vote one last time. Let's keep her number one. Let's make sure she doesn't get bumped off of number one. And with that, guys, go to that link. God bless you. Thank you so much. And have a great, great day. Bye.